The pre-show has started.
Oh, okay.
Small talk with Matt and John. The pre-show's here to make you strong. Cut through the propaganda and the corporate lies. Small talk with Matt and John.
Yeah. It's here. My
Maybe need a better rhyme
my
scheme.
my power, my thing is super low. Small talk.
Pre-show. Blues Think Twice Radio.
Okay. Shall I reset the timer and start the show?
That would be desirable.
It sounded very
Yeah.
eloquent. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, when it says on the air, you're on the air.
Okay, but could you wait for a second?
Sure.
Because I want to I have to
I
link
can
it
wait.
on
I
my
can
phone.
wait.
Link it to the Facebook.
Yeah. Shoot.
Oh, you weren't all shared up yet. I should have asked you.
I won't be able. Darn it. My phone just went out of power. God damn it.
Well, there's a power.
It's okay. It's on power. Okay, so
So grab one of those little cables that you're looking at and
yeah.
plug it in.
Okay, let's see. There you go. Power go in. Okay.
We have Nick's World of Mystical Wonder. Hello, Nick's World.
Oh.
A wonderful new nickname.
The
Dora
Dora
reboot.
What is it? There's a Dora reboot?
Dora the Explorer. That's the only Dora I know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's new?
That's the only one I can think of.
I don't think a sequel's of Dora the Explorer's come out yet. Which would be an anomaly. I think
Yeah.
most successful ventures.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So Nick's World, can you see us?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they're
the pre-show.
Oh, it's
We're
a
in the
pre-show.
Welcome, Nick's World.
Welcome, Nick's World. How you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the Dora reboot. Nick's World is always bringing culturally relevant
Yeah.
content that is
Yeah.
not in our consciousness.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let's check your buttons, Matt. Is fade to black working? Yes, it. Back to your main, okay. And is the 5 with the circle? That's working too.
Oh, and I can pause it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nick's World sees us.
Yeah. Have you ever heard about Moonies? Nick's World? It's a cartoon I've heard about by a good artist from Finland. Maybe you saw it in England. I assume he's from England.
And yeah, happy March. It's the last day of the most Irish month of the year.
Okay, when you're ready, just hit that button, Matt.
Number 5.
I still can't.
Is your phone not on?
It's
Oh, you're still having trouble?
It's taking a while to.
Oh, to boot up.
Damn it.
Okay.
Sorry about this, Nick.
Entertain them. Be his
Yeah, well,
gesture.
okay, yeah, we're going to talk about the suffragettes of West. Oh, here's another Nick's World. Have you heard of Kate Bush? She's from your country.
I don't know if this is giving it any juice.
Try one of the different cables.
I did.
Darn it.
And this other kid.
Yeah, darn it. Wonder why they canceled that Dora reboot. Wonder if it had something to do with politics. Yeah.
The IP. I don't think. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Wait. See.
The apple is enlightened.
How long after we see the apple should we have to wait? Because I have to go to Facebook. Darn it.
Huh. I only know Dora the Explorer, so I'm not. The other characters: Isla the iguana, Tico the squirrel, and Senor Tucan.
Okay.
Sounds very ethnic. I know.
Yeah.
Dora, didn't she speak Spanish?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Senior Tucon, I kind of like. Yeah.
I think Dora embodies, right, the feminine heroine
Yes.
archetype very well.
Archetype, yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
anyone can find Dora the
Yeah.
Explorer anything but, courageous.
Yeah, yeah. She's looking around. She's an explorer, and she's bilingual.
Yeah.
I like her haircut.
I can't say I know much about her other than, Dora the Explorer.
Yeah,
It's kind of,
caricature. Yeah. Benny the Bull. Yeah. Issa. I work
Wow.
with two Issas.
huh,
Popular name.
toucan.
Yeah. And let's see. I wonder if I can. Yeah. Oh, it's 1% charged. Okay, I'll wait for it to go up. Maybe 2%
Okay.
charge, 2 or 3%.
All right.
Because last time I tried to go to an app, my Facebook app, and then it went out of power.
I see.
Darn it.
You used up that 1% real quick.
Yeah, darn it. Yeah. Have you ever had this problem, Next World?
How would Dora the Explorer resolve such a quandary?
Yeah, really. I think she would talk really simple. She said, Senior John must be patient. Senior John should have thought of this.
We almost need a Dora the Explorer character to explore and help us navigate the modern world with
Yeah.
all of its modern problems.
Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact. Yeah, and you could one thing you could do is you could give your AI a character. You could
Yeah,
give it like a
and-
voice. Like you could probably give it a Dora the Explorer's voice if you wanted.
Agentic AI is a new the next layer of AI is creating agents. So actually creating an agent, and
Yeah.
that does tasks, and you don't tell it explicitly what to do, but you kind of give it some parameters, and it solves problems.
You're really good at that.
I haven't really.
Yeah.
I only know that that's a thing. It's still my level
Yeah.
of ignorance.
Yeah. I did use it to research this show.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, even in agentic AI you could program it to be filtering the internet, searching for relevant topics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did have cousin Diego.
Yeah, I instantly like Diego. It was a great show, and it features Dora's cousin Diego. Okay, he helps animals in trouble. Okay,
People like animals.
yeah, they're great. I mean, they're just they're always helping out. They're always
I think you're probably good.
let's.
I think the Super Bowl commercials, I don't know if they've done research, but I'm pretty sure they know if they just put monkeys in the commercial, it makes it successful. No, so there's actually only Spanish-speaking characters in Dora the Explorer.
Wait, Facebook. Okay. Okay, I'm going to think twice.
No hablo español.
Okay, and I'm gonna go. Wait, it says
Me llamo
visit. I don't
Mateo.
want to visit this. I want to share this. How do you share this? How would I share this? Because it says visit. I don't really want to visit that. I want to.
There you go.
Oh, share now. Okay.
Well, Blue's Clues, the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
This is also the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, which we covered in an earlier show. So
Yeah.
1996 must have been an iconic year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for pop culture.
Okay.
Yeah, there's never been a...
It's posting. It's posted. Okay.
We can start.
We're on
Ready?
Facebook. Hey. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Join us, Nick's World.
Small talk with Matt and John. Take that gun out of your,
Your mouth, spit out those pills. Stop cutting yourself to find cheap thrills, 'cause it's time for Matt and John.
Small talk. Yeah, we have an emerging theme song. So welcome, viewers,
Yeah.
to another engaged episode, thoroughly researched.
Yeah, thoroughly researched.
Small talk with Matt and John, where we're going to talk about...
But we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We'll talk about Iran.
Yeah. Global geopolitics.
global stuff, because this is National Women's Month. You know those curvy people who like spray me with pepper spray all the time? It's their whole month, and we're going to talk about the suffragettes who came from Western New York, right here in Western New York. It was like the feminist movement was founded in Seneca Falls by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Do you
Almost
believe
like
it?
the real life Dora the Explorers.
Exactly. Yeah, and these were okay. Her and her buddy Susan B. Anthony, the two main founders of the feminist movement. There's also an interesting woman named Matilda Jocelyn Gage, who they don't talk too much about, because in her later life she ticked off the Christians.
Which
at
is
the time.
part of the Iranian conflict. The Iranian conflict is actually heavily religious in nature.
Oddly, disturbingly enough, it's religious. There's a lot of nut jobs. I grew up with my whole life. They've been talking about the apocalypse.
Yeah, now it seems like in the Iran war that there's also actually there's leaders of countries that are trying to enable the end times.
Yes, and there are people. Hegseth believes in all that. Hooey.
And Mike Huckabee.
And they're pushing this war. It's pretty scary, guys. Yeah. And I've heard about the apocalypse my whole life growing up.
I mean, I think recently as of last year, there's homeless people on Broadway with, rapture signs. There's a guy dressed up as Jesus with the rapture is
What?
coming here.
What?
I think tomorrow, but the rapture never came.
No!
Yeah, I looked at that guy. That guy's crazy. But then you have people that are running, global powers that are the same school of thought.
Yes.
And are actually actively trying to bring it forward.
Yeah, and they think it's a good thing. They I don't want to see Jesus come back. Because
I'd love to see Jesus come back, but yeah. I don't think we need to provoke a nuclear war in order to do that.
I would think if you read the Bible, Jesus wouldn't want you to provoke a war. He would be angry at the people. When he comes back, he'll be angry at the people who started the war to destroy the planet. That's my theme.
Well, yeah. It's kind of, twisted logic, but here we are.
Yes.
We're in bizarre times.
We're in bizarre times. And we're going to talk about the Iran War. Also, we're going to talk about Harriet Tubman, who passed through this area. And she also...
Underground Railroad, which for a majority of my life, I actually thought it was a railroad which they constructed underground, which turned out not to be exactly...
But
they should clarify that when they're teaching young children.
Though she did say that she, as a conductor, she never lost a train off the track, never lost a passenger, which is pretty good odds.
It's better than Norfolk Southern.
Yeah, exactly.
Where was that? Ohio.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name now.
Yeah, and she did do real good. Tough lady.
North Palestine? Is that where that place in Ohio that there's that crash?
I remember that. Yeah,
that wasn't that long ago. That kind of just went away.
It got absorbed into the.
I wonder how that's going.
Something. I hope they're okay. I hope they're not dying, choking to death. People in Palestine.
North Palestine.
Yeah.
Or was it East Palestine?
Yeah. So okay, yeah. But okay, so on to our subject of the suffragettes from Western New York. Basically, yeah, they.
What is a suffragette?
What?
What's a suffragette?
You know what? It always confused me because it sounds like if you're for women's suffrage, you're for them suffrage. It's not.
It's kind of bad use of the English language.
It is just the right to vote. It was like a major. It was a major. They made it. Eventually,
Didn't women not? They didn't have the right to vote.
Yeah.
How are they kind of represented just by their owner, which would be their husband in many cases?
Well, that's what these ladies, they got off their duffs and they formed their own. Yeah, they didn't. These were women who weren't necessarily into getting married, but even though they both did get married.
I see. Because if you didn't get married, then you wouldn't have a vote.
Yeah. No, you. Yeah.
You wouldn't even have like a half vote.
No, you wouldn't get nothing. You wouldn't get like good old Susan B. Anthony got on that, and she went and they organized women and they motivated them. It was Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She was the brains of the operation, but Susan B. Anthony, who could was really good at talking, inspired women to get out there and
yeah. There's a local group that's primarily women in it, and I was just amazed when I was observing them how they just are almost like worker bees. Like everyone was kind of working, knew their task, knew their role, and they were working very symbiotically. There was really no egos. Whereas I don't think I've ever seen a group of like 30 men all work in
I
order
know,
because
they,
there's like a whole hierarchy.
Women could really, women really can move. They, we came originally from tribes where women, a lot of the ancient tribes were probably more matriarchal, which that's one of the things that Matilda Jocelyn Gage, she was one of the first people to realize this, that originally, and she wrote a book about this, about how society was more matriarchal. And she really took on the church, and she pointed out that she was the first person to really point out that the church really did keep a hoof on women's backs to a guy. And she was the very first one to look at the witch trials.
Yeah, that's a very interesting pocket of history.
Yeah. And she's the one who pointed out that these witch trials, a lot of them were just about keeping women in check. She noticed that the pattern was they would go after sometimes herbalists, women who were like challenging doctors, accuse them of witchcraft. Also, widows who had a lot of power, who were independent of men. And those were the ones that during the quote unquote hysterias would get picked off, and she publicly stated this, and she got in trouble for this, and she brought the idea that maybe the witch was a hero, and she was like, this was way back. Now we've all met people who were like, oh man, I'm a witch. It's because of her, She pointed out that they were really healers and maybe just women of their time who were like going against the grain. And oddly enough, her son-in-law was a guy who wrote Wizard of Oz.
Interesting.
And he was inspired by her. And she even told him, hey, get out there, write some of these books. And the Wizard of Oz was first when they had the concept of good witches.
But then that movie was very different. That witch was very evil. When I think of a cackling evil witch,
there was an evil one. There was an evil one, but remember Glinda. And if you get into the books, the Oz is a matriarchy. Except there's that one, the evil wizard, who's like a man who lies.
He's actually feeble behind. Yeah, but he's like,
yeah.
It's kind of an archetype for power. You have these feeble people that are behind the curtains.
You know what? This could be a whole other podcast, because a lot of the things you wove in there are political themes. I think the lion was supposed to represent like the army, and the Tin Man was supposed to represent industry, and the Straw Man was supposed to represent agriculture. They had those were like symbols that he wrote. So. And she got in his case. He said, get out there and write some of these books. Because she was very insightful that way. And, and actually, she learned a lot about this. Some of her stuff was inspired by Native Americans. Like by the Iroquois, and there was this other group she was really inspired by. And the Native American, they found they were very matriarchal. And the Indians, actually, she was pro-Indian, when that wasn't cool. And she was actually made an official member of one of the tribes.
Oh, because they had a whole different form of democracy that influenced American democracy, and just a tribal way. At least the Haudenosaunee, which are the people from New York State, they had their clan of 5 different clans that were together.
As a matter of fact, I think that's who she was inspired by. Yeah,
Seneca Falls, right? Wasn't that an important place in the women's suffrage?
That was their compound. I think it was originally Elizabeth Cady Stanton's house, I think. And they would get there and they would write stuff, and they would,
Even today, I think there's a stat that women actually have more purchasing power in the economy, because a lot of households, they're the ones actually pulling the trigger and shopping.
Up until 1971, when I was still alive, women still needed their dopey husband to sign for them to get a credit card. So the woman would have to get out her rolling pin or whatever she had and say, hey, I signed for my credit card here. And it was a law up until 1971. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Well,
even the recent events in Iran, I know that it seems very similar to like the Vietnam War, and a lot of the policies from the 70s are actually kind of influencing this conflict now. So
Isn't
it's kind
this-
of history really does repeat itself.
We've learned, but the thing is, so quickly after that stupid Iraq war, we've learned nothing. You
Yeah.
out there,
Well, actually,
write it down. Iraq war was bad. This war is bad.
Well,
Vietnam War was bad. Remember this. Write this down for later. So the next time some maniac, I don't know, some celebrity in the future becomes president, he wants to attack a country. You people,
I think looking back in the
next
Iraq
world,
War,
listen to me.
in the Iraq War, at least they tried, tried creating propaganda for the public for some reason for the public to bite into. Whereas this thing, they didn't even try justifying it.
Even me, like, I was against the Iraq War, but I did kind of. They did sell it to me, like, oh shit! If they have, I was thinking, that guy's a dictator. And,
Well, that's the thing too. They also there was 9/11, which there's a whole host of now.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them conspiracy theories, but people are revisiting that. But they kind of used Americans' emotion from then to get us into the Middle East. Whereas now we're 20 years after that. We don't have any. If anything, the actual emotional state of the country is not the same as Iraq.
And this was just the Donald drama of the week that they dropped on us, I think, where it was like, oh, he bombed Venezuela. We were all like, yay. And then it was like, oh, Iran. He bombed Iran, and, but that Strait of Hormuz.
Well, yeah, so I think that's part of the thing is, I think historians will probably say that the Venezuela attack inspired Trump thinking, oh, this is easy. We can do this. We can cut off the head. The body will fall, and this will be simple, quick, and easy. But all the military strategists and experts, not even experts, are saying actually, just the way Iran's Venezuela is different than Iran. Iran's because they're in that region where they feel threatened. They've actually been prepping for a war and designed their whole structure for something like that. So
the pattern is so similar to Hitler. Because Hitler got in charge, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to go into Chechnya." It was a quick, easy war. The Germans were like, "Yeah, Chechnya! Oh my God, Hitler's such a big, brawn man." Then he went into Poland. Yay, yay, yay! What a big, strong man! This is the way Trump did with Venezuela. And then he went into Russia, and then they were fucked. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But
that's
now
also part of Israel now. They are. What they're doing in Gaza, and now they're actually bombing southern Lebanon. So there's actually that Gaza was similar to the Nazis that were taking land of Israel's now starting. Why are they bombing southern Lebanon? And also ultimately it seems like the regime leading Israel, right? There's questions around the Epstein files. How does Israeli intelligence manipulate and control our government? But then also they are now. There's this. Have you heard of the Greater Israel Project?
I think it will familiarize me.
So the people that are trying to bring forward the rapture, Mike Huckabee and the Israeli government, they believe in the Greater Israel Project. So they are literally trying to rebuild the original biblical Israel because in the Bible it says that God promises, chooses the people.
Why?
To recreate a piece of land all the way from like the Nile. Yeah. So parts of southern Lebanon, Gaza, and all these places.
Christians, no. Sorry, no. What are we going to do? Say we're here like 500 years from now, and the Senecas come back, and we're sitting there having a good time. And they're like, hey, we want to bring back the old Seneca tribes and kick us out. I'd be like, no, it's been a long time. Sorry. And even if Jesus is on that side, I'm sorry, Jesus. I don't think he is.
So kind of the interesting part that I've been learning is the actual, the Zionists that are leading the country of Israel, they are kind of also melding with the evangelicals in the United States. Yeah. So the people leading Israel are trying to bring forward the end times because they believe the Messiah of the Jewish religion will be brought forward during this time. And then also the Mike Huckabees of the world, they think by starting this war, you are bringing forward end times. It's also about there's this mosque in Jerusalem, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is all crazy because I'm consider myself fairly secular, so I've been just exposing myself. I've been so ignorant to religion, but the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is a very important place spiritually for all the Abrahamic religions, but has been a mosque since the year 700, but was originally a Jewish temple. So part of what I'm scared of is that someone, either a false flag attack will... There's a theory that the Israelis want to do a false flag, blow up the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is this really holy site to not just the Jewish faith, but the Muslims especially, they pray there. So the thought is they want to destroy that temple and rebuild the third temple, because they say that originally there was a Jewish temple there that was destroyed.
Yeah.
So they were trying to rebuild the third temple to bring forward the end times.
why
So
not-
it's just very...
Why not just do a little temple down the road, and you can say, just be friends. You don't have to.
That's
I-
right, yeah. It doesn't make sense because, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are all Abrahamic religions.
Yeah,
They all believe in the same God.
Wouldn't what's his name want them to get along? God want
Yeah.
them to get along, right? Right? Up there, huh? Sorry, yeah. So that upsets me. Oh, I want to say hi to the guys at work. I want to say hi to Anthony.
Anthony at Nick's World, who has a joke. Why did the spy cross the road? Because he never really was on your side.
Ha. Wisdom,
it's-
Nick's World.
Right, and part of the modern time is that, was Epstein part of some greater intelligence gathering operation, which seems pretty evident that that's what was going on. So that's...
That I'd say true that, because they were saying Ghislaine Maxwell, her father was a major Israeli spy. He was like a badass spy.
Ghislaine Maxwell, was an Israeli spy.
Yes. But they were saying, definitely he was working for the Israelis. Some people say the Russians too, which it could have been. And part of me is like, where the hell was our CIA or our FBI? Like,
Well, that's what I think is coming to light, is that people, and I think I've had this theory that we're at this point where the left and right is kind of modern left and right, but actually the radical left and the radical right are at some point going to come together. And I think it's Israeli might be, right. Many people on the left and right are asking, why is our country fighting a war that is the prior or is in the best interest of Israel but not in the best of ours? So it's like, why does Israel have such an outsized? I think it's through the lobbying of our politicians, and I think it's coming to light when we're doing these things.
How long and how deep has that been going on? What? Let me throw in something here, an idea.
Okay.
If you're are you familiar with Dune?
No.
Part of Dune, if any of you Dune guys out there, you're probably you know where I'm going with this. In Dune, it gets really into just history and time. And one of the things a religion did, is it would infect another culture with a religious idea. They would put it into another culture that they could use later, and it would become convenient for that group. I think there is a specific term. So when you think about like all this apocalyptic talk from the born agains, was that seeded there from Zionists, from Israel, or did that genuinely come out of the dumb Bible thumpers' brains?
Well, that's what I
Or
think
was that-
I reflect on. Even the whole 9/11, right? And the whole the talking points, the weapons of mass destruction, the radical Islamic terrorists, were those talking points, right, to get the American public to hate Muslim people because they're radical and violent.
Yeah.
And also, it kind of got us into the Middle East war.
Yeah.
And part of the Greater Israel Project is ultimately America needs to be, right, Israel, if they draw America in, we do the fighting for Israel. And then if we lose this war, it's good for Israel because, we've just created chaos. But then if Americans withdraw from the Middle East, then Israel can become the hegemon or the main power and build their Greater Israel. So actually, part of the theory that I've been thinking about is, that Israel is actually trying to get the U.S. is an enemy because in order for Israel to occupy Greater Israel, the Americans need to leave. So
It's such a bear trap. It's
and then, some people have been talking about going back to the assassination of JFK, and they were making a good point of that was essentially a coup, an American coup. Somebody took out the U.S. president, and it's unclear whether the forces that did that, if they ever relinquished power, if that was the moment that they've been in power since 9/11. Because JFK, he was talking about the deep state and and essentially, and I think it's a fair point. Is this just the continuation of the post JFK regime? And have we really been in a true democracy since the assassination of JFK? Which is
It's weird when do you like I'm all hesitant on conspiracies, but these are conspiracies. These are actually coming true. These are actually like, no, there's an Epstein guy that they did, and they were exploiting children and young girls for political gain. and they were the elites. It was the elites were at the table of corruption.
Well, it's funny because I was watching this one clip, and it's this. There's this Iranian professor. So he's a professor at the University of Tehran who's getting interviewed on some kind of Western, like mainstream. Which a lot of the Trump movement is about the fake news, and the mainstream media. And the mainstream media was because this Iranian professor was talking about the Epstein class and how they're ruling the world, and this is a war on behalf of the Epstein class. And the commentator just said, "Don't you think does anyone take you seriously when you say these things? Why would you say these things?" And it was kind of like this moment of this professor who's like, or this mainstream journalist is almost doesn't realize that no, actually the joke's on them. Like the Epstein empire, which they're talking about, most people actually kind of believe that. So it's kind of this. I don't know. This or not that I'm optimistic, but I think maybe in the Vietnam War and World War I, World War II, where the elites could control 247, they could control a narrative. Now, when I was even just watching a streamer of. This guy was streaming with someone living in Iran. So you're actually getting direct information from just a normal everyday citizen in Iran. I'm almost kind of optimistic that actually the people of all the countries this might be a power with my complete tin hat optimistic futures that the internet somehow, they won't be able to create a narrative because ultimately, you need Americans and Israel's fighting against the people of Iran. But what if the people of all those countries, because we have technology now, we can communicate. I don't know. I'm maybe hopeful that maybe it won't be as possible to blindly puppeteer populations.
I
into
would.
wars.
Yeah, I hope. I do. I'm hoping that at the end of this, we all learn and we all develop a better. Like that a better party comes up that looks at the things we did wrong, but it doesn't end up like that song by the Who where they say, "Oh, you don't get fooled again." I don't know if you ever heard that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and unfortunately, that's very clear. I think there was a school of thought that. The late 90s or right before 9/11, that was like the end of history, and we had reached this glorious golden age where there'd be no wars and there's nothing new to report on. But it's very clear now that we don't really learn much of all and anything. I think this comes back to a topic we talked about a while ago about the fourth turning of how actually generationally every 80 years we have a kind of massive turnover where 80 years ago was World War II, 80 years before that was the Civil War, 80 years before that was so this is actually just part of history and kind of supports the thesis that the U.S. since World War II has been the unipolar power of the world, The rest of the world was destroyed after World War II. They had no manufacturing, so we had all the power. All the gold left Europe to came to the U.S., so they pegged the gold to the U.S. dollar. And that system has slowly run out because back in the 70s, actually, Richard Nixon, because we had started to abuse that thing, he depegged the dollar from gold and set up the petrodollar system. So now we made an agreement, I think in 73 with Saudi Arabia, where you were only allowed to sell oil in the U.S. dollar. So that has kind of given the U.S. dollar its values because it's the only currency that you can buy oil in. So part of this war, which is simmering too, is the petrodollar system of... now that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, they're actually letting people through and saying, if you pay us a tax and you pay in Chinese yuan, then you can go through. So it's actually challenging our dollar system, which is the petrodollar.
Yeah. Oh, what? Well, Nick informs us that in good news, the new Mario movie is coming out this Wednesday. So that's
good,
something to look for. A little brightness in there.
Also, bread circuses. Maybe there's that quote should be bread circuses in war. So maybe war. Well, that's part of the dynamic now. Is America's not, and there's been talk of potentially even having a draft. I know the military recently raised the service age from 34 to 42, and so we're just an interesting of if people don't have bread and don't have circuses here. The idea of a draft might actually, I think, incite some sort of civil war. Because I think
that's where things got really hairy in Vietnam. When they stopped the draft, that really,
Yeah, and I think, that's kind of a theory is that, if they did actually, now if we're contemplating a ground invasion of Iran, that's going to require manpower. And I don't know if, especially Zoomers, because you're gonna draft the young population. If they don't have bread and can't buy a house and they don't have health care and everything's expensive, what are the idea that they're going to go blindly fight for what? We don't really,
the thing is, actually during the military, there's a lot of, in a weird way, the military itself is a type of socialism. They take care of you, work on, and they educate you. And I would say there's a lot of people, it's a great it's a great job experience. But
And yeah, well, part of the we all admit that we have a military-industrial complex where
Yeah.
all our resources go to the military,
Yeah.
and we all. I don't think it's controversial to say that the military-industrial complex is corrupt, right? They failed their audits. There's trillions of dollars were unaccounted for.
Yeah.
But part of that corruption, right? I've always kind of assumed, oh well, we have this really big, powerful, strong military
Yeah.
that keeps us safe.
Yeah.
But the Iran war is kind of exposing that we're fighting a war like it's World War II, and
Yeah.
actually warfare has changed. So we have
Yeah.
these very big
Yeah.
sinkers and ships, and Iran has these Shahed drones, and actually
Yeah.
we have these interceptors where it costs millions of dollars to produce each interceptor.
Yeah.
They have these $10,000 drones that they can just shoot off the back of a pickup truck,
Yeah.
and they can overwhelm systems. So it's kind of coming like that. Actually, our military isn't designed to fight a modern war because part of our military doctrine, this is taken from Professor Zhang. He talks right when we were fighting the Soviet Union, it was all about shock and awe. So how can I look?
Yeah.
If I look big and powerful and have nuclear weapons, you won't mess with me.
Yeah.
So we've that's been our military, is look big and powerful,
Yeah.
but we're actually not built for modern warfare.
But also, the thing is, we have to get we're still in a type of system where we have to get our citizens to go and put their lives on the line, and politically, that's very. I mean, I hope that's where there are still things in our system where that would really be bad for Daddy Trump. If he did stuff like that. I mean, because we can resist. That would.
That's kind of
upset us,
We're such an empire, and we've done the typical empire thing where we're overconfident in our abilities. We've overextended ourselves so much globally that we've kind of forgotten to take care of the people here. So, people need to feel like there's something here to protect or fight for. And the regime change in the Middle East is not something.
It's not like people are like, oh my God, we have it. There's not a lot of Americans who say we have it so great here in America anymore. They're saying like, well, I have to pay this much for health, and they're struggling economically. And even our so-called freedoms, are we really that free? When you can get in you can get in trouble for what you say, and
so I think that's why I think if they institute a draft, which maybe won't happen, but maybe it will. How it seems like we're kind of in a bad position because we kind of seem committed to some sort of invasion of Iran. And I think, they didn't even try the weapons of mass destruction propaganda tour before they went in. They just kind of went for it.
They are deeply incompetent. It's weird. It's a combination of his incompetence, and on top of that, he's getting older and crazier. This is more. You think more of Caligula with this guy more than, and he's corrupt to begin with, and he can be easily influenced by guys like Lindsey Graham or
Jared
the Israelis,
Kushner,
Jared Kushner or the Israel. And who is Jared Kushner working for?
Yeah,
and who are.
Well, Professor Zhang has a good point that he says Jared Kushner is the new Epstein. So I don't know if Jared Kushner is touching people, but he could be the new agent of. Right, Epstein was he was the tip of an iceberg.
Whoever they are, they're not working in our interest. The Republican Party is not working in our interest anymore.
Well, I think even people have been saying, where's all the outrage from Democrats in the Senate and Congress? And really there isn't the type of outrage because actually I think this is kind of my point of why I think the radical left and right are coming together is because actually both sides, Republicans and Democrats, are both bought by AIPAC, both bought by the Israeli industrial complex. I think that's why people are going to start only point out my government doesn't work for me.
What was it? Schumer got up there and he was proudly saying, "We are going to keep supporting Israel." Like, why?
Well,
he was, but he was enthusiastic. Like everybody in the room is going, "Yeah, why?"
Yeah, I think you just have people that are out of touch with the average American. Somebody at the point of, Tucker Carlson ran against Gavin Newsom in the 2028 race. That actually Tucker Carlson would kill him because he has the MAGA right base, but also he is leftist that could come over because Tucker Carlson would say you are just a puppet of Israel.
And also our Americans are so shallow. They're familiar with, well, I've seen Tucker on TV, and they're just like they just were familiar with him, and they're just they're dumb.
But I think it's more nuanced than that. I mean, Trump did kind of set the stage, and I think this new media now Tucker Carlson has his own YouTube channel, so he's actually his own form of media, and I think media is going to play a huge role in this war because, like I said, I was watching this random streamer. He's a Twitch streamer, and he's having a long form conversation with some Iranian citizen, and they're talking. So it's just very interesting that I'm just hopeful that the elites don't have the control on central media the way that they did, so they won't be able to puppeteer us.
Yeah, I hope that if Tucker does run for some, I hope we come back with Jon Stewart. Now, normally I wouldn't support a celebrity, but if Newsom, Newsom is like just another version of the same old Democrat.
Well, yeah, so I think that's the big fear is that the George Bush Republicans have come over to become Democrats. The Democrats out of touch. They're just going to run another Democrat. When really the left has been we want a Bernie type figure. We want some sort of really
and also because for the dumber Americans, they need a celebrity. They do. They need a Ronald McDonald clown. They need somebody with bright balloons they can't. If we were a more mature country, we could run Elizabeth Warren or somebody like that,
But I think,
I don't know.
Right, when you think of all of the presidents, right? JFK, he was just a very handsome figure, and he looked good on the television. Ronald Reagan, former actor, had the voice.
Good looking,
Donald Trump, right? He was, people knew him from The Apprentice. So there actually
Obama.
Obama.
Obama did have a lot of charisma. And
I think that's the point of a lot of people after understanding. We voted for Obama. He was an outsider. Nothing changed. Then the right kind of revolted and voted for Trump. He was supposed to change it. He ran on No New Wars. He got in. It's the same. Yeah. So now I think it's coming to the consciousness of the left and the right and the left both agree that our country is corrupt. Now we're kind of saying, why does our entire government represent the interests of Israel first? And I think it just is kind of an enlightening moment because I think people on both sides of the aisle, normal people that because ultimately I think why doesn't our country represent the interests of its own citizens? Is a question to ask.
Yeah. You know who could help us out?
Yeah. Do we have any heroines?
Yes, we do.
Past generations.
Yes, Harriet Tubman. Now she was a lady.
A badass.
She was. She was a former slave, and she helped like run the Underground Railroad. Not only that, but then she fought in the Civil War. Afterward,
she fought in the Civil War.
Dude, yeah, she was an undercover agent in the Civil War. And there was the one raid, I think it was called Comanche Raid or something, where she it was a perfect raid. She liberated 700 people, and she brought down this whole area of the South, this agricultural area of the South, and she went in undercover. She had subterfuge skills before they really developed them. If she were, the CIA would have given her a medal today for what she did. She went in. She could also. We know her today as a little black lady.
Isn't she on a dollar or quarter?
She probably is. Hopefully,
dollar coin.
She is. I'd like to see her on the $20 bill after what I've learned about her. We know her as a little old black lady. In the South, they thought, "Who's this big guy? This Harriet? Who is this big white?" They thought he was a big dumb white guy. Because she was, but also they kind of thought she was a ghost too. They thought, they gave her mythical, identity. They thought, she had the ability, like a cat, she could see in the dark. Which maybe she could have. Oh, this is another kind of star thing. She kind of had superpowers in a way. The history of most human beings,
dark magic, kind of energy.
When you think about most people in history, when they come up and we hear, they were hit in the head, had a brain trauma early on, usually they end up killing prostitutes afterward. She got whacked in the head when she was a kid, when she was 13 years old. Her captor threw a big weight at another slave, and it hit her in the head. Wow. Then it broke her skull, and then she went back to the field to work. But after that, she would have visions and hear voices from God. She would have horrible headaches her whole life, but she would have narcolepsy, but she'd have these visions. And the real fun people in history are being guided by God. Yeah, so she was guided. And also, it was reported too, there were times when she was when she would be guiding like a bunch of people like through the underwater railway, and she'd say, "No, God tells me to stay down." Like so, she would have an instinct like a spider sense,
She was like, listen, yeah. So she's.
which is fun. Yeah,
Well, then somebody showed a clip of I think Alex Jones who was
yeah.
10 years ago. He was this radical crazy guy, but he's talking about the
Yeah.
levels of consciousness. Now I gotta take him seriously, right? 'Cause
No,
we're-
no, he's a radical crazy guy. He's a shyster. He's taking advantage of
Right,
people.
but there are elements, right? He was kind of onto the whole child pedophile elite ring, like before it was somewhat popular now.
But
So
that he only thought it was only people who had liberal policies who did that. It
I
was
think he talks. I don't know enough about it, but he talks about like the
Yeah.
elites. So anything. I think he's got to revisit
yeah.
anything. But he was talking about
Yeah.
levels of consciousness, and
yeah.
I think there's ideas. The idea that there are these people that have. I don't know what's going on with God energy. Is it
Yeah.
different consciousness
Well,
touching people or?
He could make money that way, So that's the way he's So they'll go for him, but he's yeah. But anyway, also Harriet. Okay, she couldn't really work in the house. She wasn't built for that. It's because she was a Spitfire and stuff. So she was
having vision.
Was super tough. And when she got out, she led like 19 different like escapes from the South. Like because usually if you're a slave, honestly, getting out of in bondage was really hard because all you do you're like, oh, I'll pick this cotton, oh, you get more cotton. But she knew the land.
You had to
learned
go
the land,
somewhere, and then you had to keep yourself fed, and hit it.
and disappear. She would be able to just they had hounds back then, and they had trackers. They had like we're city folk, we don't know how that's done, but she knew that, and like she could move people out, and she would move them through streams where they would lose a scent, and her navigation, she would follow the North Star.
And was this her visions when she was
No,
navigating
it wasn't
the land?
vision, but
How-
that was
how'd she know
tactical
to-
skills.
Yeah, just she knew how to evade. Where'd she learn that?
That's a really great. That's something I should. Where she actually learned her evasions. Like,
Yeah.
maybe she was just a country girl. One thing she knew how to do. Yeah, she knew how to follow the North Star.
Because how did the Underground Railroad actually work? How do they conduct that?
Well, there would be good people that would help them out. There would be like people in a like there'd be people with a nice house. Hopefully, it would be like who could find
yeah.
a way. But but like how she would actually help and aid that's something I really should have done more research. Like how she would actually.
How did right back in the 1800s? How did they get information anywhere? Right, you couldn't send an email. Like if somebody want to contact you. How would they?
Okay.
How do you send yeah?
Well, okay. Also, amongst themselves, they singing, a big part of their culture. It also was a way of them to talk to each other, where the white man wouldn't know. Like actually, there are some very coded things which I think even today. You ever hear the song "Jimmy Crack Corn"?
No.
Anyway, sorry, folks out there, go look it up. It goes, Jimmy Crack Corn, I don't care. Jimmy Crack Corn, I don't care. Jimmy go crack corn, I don't care. My master's gone away. It sounds, on the surface, kind of a happy little song. But when you listen to the song, it's about this guy goes out with his master, and what happens? His master fell off of his horse because of a shoe fly and broke his neck. Oh my, oh me, oh my, what a bit. But to me, I think there was really much like where the people singing that song knew that slave killed that master.
Yeah.
Whereas we're like,
The veiled forms of communication.
we think it's kind of cute. So there was, the slaves did interact with each other, and that's what made her also an effective like counterinsurgent. Like when she would be able to go behind in the Civil War, she could go behind enemy lines. And like they didn't know who she was, so she could be. She would like do the old woman, like I'm an old woman, like going around. And the Confederates would just sit there and talk about their battle plans. And okay, she pulled this off once. She called it the old chicken trick.
Oh, they like chickens.
I guess she was undercover. She was in a city, and her old captor. She was walking around. She had some chickens, and she was walking down the street or something, and she saw her old captor coming toward her, and she just She like released the chicken. She started chasing him around and acting all goofy, and he totally missed her because he was like looking at the chickens and stuff. She was really sneaky that way.
Interesting.
Because we think of her as an old, wrinkled black woman, but she was really. She could go through freezing swamps in the winter, like in chest deep water and stuff, and also the clothes back then sucked.
She's kind of like a Rasputin type of just has these
Yeah.
mystical type powers.
And she, yeah, and back then clothes sucked back then. And for women, they have to wear little, I don't know what.
Yeah,
And-
we have Jeannie on the,
Hey,
on the
Jeannie.
feed. Hey, Jeannie, chime in here with any
Yeah.
wisdom you have or thoughts.
Yeah. Thoughts. And, other fun things you did. But also she did become involved later in the suffragette movement. You know, people, and she met John Brown. John Brown called her the little general, which she later was. Okay, after a world, she did operations in the South. Talking to using slaves, lady, but she was learning about the movements of the South. The one position, the one battle she was in, the Southerners had mined this river with like all these different mines. And back in the day, that was like, oh, that's the most genius thing. Those Yankees will never get through here with these mines. They'll never know where they are. But of course, she had scouts out there. She was able to figure out where the mines were. And she guided 3 steamships through these minefields, and all by memory. And it was one of the biggest raids where she pulled it off, no Union casualties or anything, and they just did it flawlessly. And she should be given the Medal of Honor posthumously, and she should get other medals, I think, because she really
more than just a
Yeah.
quite a character.
Yeah, it's just,
So there's been any Hollywood rendition of her life.
I bet you there have, but you know what? I probably didn't watch them because I probably I wasn't fascinated until right now. Good old Harriet Tubman, and but she was also a suffragette too.
So how did they go about getting voting rights? Suffrage. They just kind of started protesting, picketing?
Yes, protesting and just being nudges. And actually, I should learn more about that because they really did. They would go in and vote. Try to vote and then get arrested for voting.
What's to say when most people don't even vote today? You know, most people don't even vote today. Whereas 100 years ago, they were fighting. Yeah, people were laying their lives on the line for the right to vote. Now people don't even vote.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it is. It is sad. Yeah, that people don't vote. Yeah, but they did. They also would help out in World War I, and they'd be there and we need to deserve the right to vote because I know. Mary Talbert. She was also from this area. She went in World War I. She was a nurse. She was a suffragette. And she founded. Yeah, she's another Western New Yorker. Mary Talbot. Mary Burnett Talbot. I almost forgot about her. She founded helped found what later became the NAACP.
Okay.
It was called right here in it was called the Niagara Movement. And there's a church here in Buffalo on William Street, I think, the William Street Church.
Or Michigan
Street, yeah. And she was from there, and I think D.B. Du Bois.
I think that was a stop on the Underground Railroad too.
Yes, it was. Yeah, they knew her. They knew. They called Harriet Tubman Aunt Harriet, and Aunt Harriet would be the funny stories about her is she would tell the young kids, if they were sleeping, wake up, wake up.
This Buffalo would be the last stop. So you would be here,
Yes.
and you would go to, yeah.
So they would go down, yeah. And I think there was a Niagara Bridge that was a famous place where that would be the last, and she would get them through. And when they got to Canada, she would just, she's just you. The one term she said, "You've just escaped the lion's paw," and you just she was until that she was really seriously covert and very like quiet and very determined until she got to Canada.
Oh yeah, then she was in
Yeah.
But then she went back for more.
19 times she went back. 19, and she said the thing is, she said she was a conductor on the railroad, never lost a passenger, and remember she's taken old people and kids, and these are black people, what they were considered property that just disappeared, and they would like there were patrols.
Yeah, people were looking for him.
These are people who knew and actually these were guys who knew, like not like us, but who knew how to hunt, knew how to track. So she was. Another thing she could do. Say it was cloudy and you didn't know where the North Star was. I guess you can feel on a tree, moss will be thicker on the north side of a tree. So she could make her way through there that way. Like,
See, there's all these sorts of ancient skills that the modern human hasn't.
Yeah. And she did the classic, like, hoot owl thing.
Like hoot.
Like she might be out in the forest.
She could talk to the animals.
You go woo woo. That would be like, stay down. Like woo woo, or she'd say it a different way, like hoot hoot, and you just hear a hoot, but you wouldn't know that there might be like, say, 20 escaped slaves over in the forest somewhere. She like that was the way they would. They would.
I'm interested in the mythical aspect. Yeah. What?
Like
How much of that was that? Yeah.
Was it?
Because a lot of great people have been, had some sort of divine intervention or inspiration.
Those people, they show up once in a while. Like Joan of Arc.
Well, yeah, why doesn't that?
Yeah.
Why doesn't that? Yeah, how do you tap into that?
Joan of Arc, the guy from the Taiping Rebellion. But that's the other thing. A lot of times, though, the people who are talking to God are maniacs.
Well, yeah,
but she wasn't a maniac. That was a nice thing.
I mean, she must have been a little bit of a maniac to be going 19. Right? Now, most people would cross over once and stay there. So you're a maniac in a bit of way to go to do that 19 times. You're an outlier, I guess.
Yeah. But like I say, most people, you get hit on the head, brain damage, you're not doing nothing. You're like you're killing prostitutes or you're.
But there's been people who've had weird, things in their brains.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So, another tough thing she did. Later in her life, she went to go have brain surgery, but she didn't have any anesthetic. She's like, she just bit on a bullet and they worked on her brain. Well, she's just biting on a bullet because she's like super tough, and she didn't want anesthetic.
What's the whole Civil War even? That was like how throughout history they would just liquor you up, and like that's kind of how they would do things.
She was saying she saw that in the war. She,
people cutting off your limbs. Okay,
yeah.
Here, have a couple drinks.
She was a nurse too. Also, she did nursing work, like to binding wounds and stuff like that. But she saw that brain surgery just gave her a bullet. She bit down on it. It was like, oh, okay.
We're joined by Mick. Hey, Mick.
Hey, Mick Rambo. Hi.
It's Mick's world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah. Good old Mick Rambo. Yeah. So, what other fun things did she do? They hated her. They didn't know who she was. You know, they thought they thought she was a white. She was a big white man. They would be.
Makes me wonder how many people in history that just don't even get remembered at all did crazy things.
Okay, there was other like subversive organizations like underground black organizations. Like they were the Knights of Talbert, I think.
Ultimately innovation always comes from like the underground or like the fringes. Kind of tying to the local, like the war in Iran. Because they've been under sanctions for so long, they've kind of built a resiliency, or they're disrupting us a bit.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm preparing for, I'm starting to prepare. So I think inflation. I think because 20% of the world's oil comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, my bills are going up.
Yeah. Taxes are going up. Mayor Ryan just proposed a 25% property tax increase.
But I'm against that. Yeah. My taxes went up.
The only solution they have is tax and spend. So it's kind of right. It's just part of this narrative. When food prices are going up, taxes are going up.
Yeah.
Cost of everything, because if gas goes up, gas is an input to everything.
Yeah.
but yeah, people's wages aren't going up
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
and ultimately,
And-
yeah, they've been sending jobs overseas, so we don't even make things
But-
here anymore.
But remember, this was our mistake. We voted for this. Well, I didn't vote for it, so I'm like, we did this to ourselves. This was. We don't have to be here, but we
Well,
are.
and also, I mean, you can look at the immediate election, but actually, I mean, I was unaware that the U.S. actually overthrew the democratically elected in Iran like 1952.
Yes, we did.
So Iran had a democracy, and I guess their president,
Yes.
he was trying to essentially British
Yeah.
Petroleum was like
Yeah.
exploiting them. So then
Yeah.
we did a coup d'état, and then we installed a Shah. So
And God knows, in that, how much of that was the British, like using our dumbasses to get into that? But I don't know.
well, yeah. So just I don't know. It really makes you realize that the whole this has been a long time coming, and
Yeah.
but you never get taught that from American mainstream media is never talking about.
Yeah.
We did a coup d'état against the democratically elected
Yeah.
representatives,
Yeah.
kind of similar to what we did in Ukraine too.
Yeah.
There's we believe in democracy,
No.
but only when
Yeah.
the people you elect.
Yeah.
We
But we didn't do that. We did not do that. I mean, I know Russian propaganda says we did, but we didn't.
Well, there was the Orange Revolution. It's
that was the Iranian or the Ukrainians. Yeah, the Russians are not popular there. They don't want to be ruled by them. And we probably did help them out a little, but at the same time, the Russians were helping out the other side. So,
yeah. But I guess the
yeah.
president they killed in Ukraine was actually he was pro Russian
Yeah.
that they took out. Then we have mixing.
yeah,
We upped ourselves, Buffalo, because the taxes.
yeah, that's.
But
terrible.
it's not all so bad. The Sabres look
Oh.
primed to go to the playoffs for the
Yeah.
first time in 15 years
Yeah.
because they have the NHL record for longest playoff drought.
Oh.
15 years. It's been.
Do you
they haven't-
think? Do you think we have a chance?
I don't. At this point, it's not about winning. It's about just making the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
So
Darn
it
it!
looks probably. I'll knock on wood. Never say never, but we were tied for first, and season's getting there. So it looks highly likely that we will make the playoffs.
Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to enjoy going to bars and watching. it.
Yeah, Nick says they will lose, and it's not about them losing; it's about them making it. It's
Oh,
literally
okay.
we just want playoff hockey. I mean, maybe next year, then we can complain about losing.
Yeah.
But they do have an exciting team, so I don't
Yeah.
know how's the Sabres. Have they played into your consciousness at all, or are you just kind of been largely ignorant? To
I
their
am
existence?
largely ignorant of sports in general and the Sabres. I should.
But your iconic shirt is
Kate
it what?
Bush.
It's Buffalo beer,
Beer? Oh,
wings, other stuff.
Yeah, other stuff. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So other stuff to me is sports.
Well, then you have your shirt, Buffalo, the Super Bowl shirt. What's that one say?
I have a shirt, public,
Four-time.
called Buffalo. Yeah. Oh, we almost won the Super Bowl 4 times. Yeah, it's a shirt.
So you need a Sabres variant now that the Sabres are coming back. So you
Yeah.
need some sort of Sabres
Yeah.
charm.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I do. Yeah. Yeah. I probably do. Maybe I should make a whole another shirt. Oh, that's the other thing, folks. The infringement's coming up, and I'm going to be doing the infringement poster. Believe
you're-
it or not.
Or you're putting an entry in, right?
I
Did you-
yes.
Or did you get selected?
I have a really good feeling about it this time.
that you'll get. 'Cause
that I'll
then
I'll
that
get it,
poster then gets on shirts.
On shirts. It'll get on shirts and book bags and people tattoos, folks. Feel free to tattoo it on yourself. But yeah. It'll get on different stuff.
And then you're
But-
hoping to do an actual infringement event.
Okay,
What do you-
infringement event. Okay, perhaps I'll do the AI, but also artists out there, give me a call. Look up infringement. You can have your own venue somewhere. You know,
So you're an organizer now.
I am an organizer. I'm going to be one. Yeah, think of me as one of the organizers.
I see. I think your artist versus AI was very cutting edge.
I think it was. I probably might do that again. So artists versus AI, guys, start thinking of stuff. You know.
That's part
Yeah.
of the circus of life, right?
Yeah.
Bread and circuses.
Yeah, I know we need distraction. Yeah, we need that stuff to go out
Yeah.
there.
Well, I think the quote "bread and circuses," people always kind of mock the circuses, but the circus is a vital part of life. We need to be
Yeah.
entertained. We need, yeah.
Yeah, what else do you do? Sit there and make grain all day, you know? And
I mean, think about this: the Bills and Sabres are embarrassing to the city. All Norwood had to do is get that ball a few more inches to the left.
oh,
That could be a shirt. Yeah, we missed a field goal once.
I know.
Then there's the no goal controversy, but I kind of
Yes.
think inferiority via our sports team is so ingrained into our consciousness. I don't know what we would do if we had a if we won something. It would just change. We could view ourselves as losers, a city of losers.
When that day comes.
If it
When
comes.
that day comes. Okay, would I want the world to be destroyed for that day? Would I want to cause an apocalypse for that day?
I think
Maybe. I
The,
don't
the
know.
city would be distraught. I think people would probably be burning things. I don't think that's. I
Yeah.
think that's an understatement to say.
Yeah, it would be crazy. It would be good. If we
It would
win-
be good, but we can never seem to win
Yeah.
anything. So even when we think it's our year, right? I think one of your shirts that could be kind of there's always next year. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the saying of
Yeah.
Buffaloes. There's
There's
always
al-
next year.
That should be on a shirt. Yeah. It's always, there's always next year. Yeah.
Yeah, the Music City Miracle. There's the no goal.
Yeah.
The catch, the 13-second catch where it looked like we caught it. Or, we choked the game away with 13 seconds left. There's been a couple.
No, it's sad. I've seen them all. I've seen a lot of them. I've seen, there's been incredible games where they come from behind, too.
Yeah.
I've missed those, yeah. But oh man, look at old sports.
Yeah. Sports, it's the circus. It's what
Yeah.
keeps us distracted.
And I guess there's going to be a new giant buffalo on the new sports stadium.
Maybe. Yeah, well, they built a brand new, massive, publicly subsidized stadium out in Orchard Park. And I heard there's going to be a statue.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you were around when they did that whole art exhibit where they painted all the buffaloes and put them everywhere.
Yeah, yes, I
Why don't
remember.
they do that all the time? Why did that happen I think that was one of the best things they ever did.
That was fun. I remember.
You still
that.
see
It
the
was cool.
buffaloes.
Yeah.
I'd love to get my own buffalo.
That was cool. That was a really cool thing to do.
Yeah, we should do that. I think you should come to Buffalo, and there should just be
Yeah.
thousands of uniquely painted buffaloes everywhere.
Yeah.
We should do that every year. I don't
I think that was cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty darn cool.
So I think in times of war and times of peace, it's the arts that inspire people. So I'm really hoping that maybe if this Iran war turns into another Vietnam, maybe the music of the '60s will come back.
It would be great if music got better. People, are you
Yeah.
listening to me? People,
We need more drugs, more LSD,
we need better. Okay,
and
not,
more oppression.
not to put down. Yeah, music has to be better. Musicians, listening to me, do better. Do music about. Not. I don't care if you're going to a club. Nobody cares about that.
I think
Or if you have a lot of
AI
money.
music could be another. That's a new thing. Right? You could prompt an AI, write a Iran protest song in the tone of Bob Dylan.
I don't know. I'm saying, folks, you can do it without.
You need
it.
real humans first.
Yeah, real folks. Yeah. So hopefully some of our maybe Rob Chase, maybe he's a good musician, or Nick's World. Nick's get it. Yeah, Nick's World. Learn the guitar, Nick, and
Yeah, we
sing
need-
some good songs.
We need Michael Jackson. I was looking at some of his music videos. He was really one of a kind.
He was perfect.
He
Yeah,
was
the way
on
he
that-
danced.
He had that Harriet Tubman energy. There was some sort of divine intervention. There,
He was.
Or I saw a video of Tiger Woods.
He was perfect.
You know, Tiger Woods. He was like winning golf
Yeah.
when he was like two. I think he played a par 9 when he was 2 years old.
He was
and
incredible.
And it was like there's a clip of him when he's 2, and he's like,
Yeah.
his dad said, "Oh yeah, he was 11 months old. He
Yeah.
saw me hit golf balls, and he just picked up and just he was like a child.
He was
prodigy.
incredible. Yeah.
There's clips of him. He's like 5 years old, and he's like kicking the butts of like he's just
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff like that too. Like I think he's on Johnny Carson. Where like, we have this young Tiger Woods, and they're like, "Oh, he's so cute," and they showed him golfing, and then years later, he was really.
Yeah,
Bring
which
it.
he recently got in a DUI, which so we send our thoughts out to him. He's obviously struggling with some sort of mental health issue.
Yeah, I remember he was doing incredible. And then
Well, yeah, he has enough money. He should buy himself a driver. And,
Yeah.
have an NDA so he can do whatever he wants and get home safely.
I hope he does well as a human being.
Yeah, we wish him well.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And we'll have him on a show. We'll invite
Yeah.
to Tiger Woods if he wants to be a guest on our show and tell his version of events.
Yeah,
We'll
good
open
old
that invitation.
Tigger, good old Tiger.
So, any parting thoughts of wisdom for our
okay.
our viewers?
Yes. Get ready for infringement. Harriet Tubman was cool.
Go
What's the New York
Sabres.
suffragettes? Yeah. Matilda Jocelyn Gage.
Yeah.
Witches.
And okay, we're gonna fade to darkness now. Okay, bye.